Ultraman Ace, the fifth series in Subarai's Ultra franchise, saw the titular character take on the role of Earth's resident Ultra and savior. After the previous series, The Return of Ultraman, established the franchise as an interconnected universe, Ace fully embraced expanding the lore through crossovers. Manifesting as big crossovers like the Ace Killer arc and small cameos like Brotherly Advice, Ultraman Ace provided many reasons for fans of the franchise to be excited. However, these cameos weren't always emotional or explosive fanfare. Some were strange. Others were pure insanity. Resurrection, the Father of Ultra, is the 38th episode of Ultraman Ace and the start of Ultraman Christmas specials. The episode starts normal. Holiday music, views of festive buildings, and a shopping montage set the Christmas mood. Seiji Hokuto, the human host of Ace, Kyoko, and Dan, decide they want to donate gifts at a local orphanage and spend the day celebrating there. Upon arrival, they notice a massive, certainly not suspicious styrofoam snowman. Yukari, the woman who runs the orphanage, notes that the styroman was dropped off earlier by an unknown person. The cast ignores this strange gift and continue with the holiday festivities. Children are given the joy of Christmas, and everything seems normal. This is when the show decides that a normal Christmas was never on the table. This is when the show decides to choose violence. Yukari notices that it's been bright all day, so she decides to look outside through a window. While doing this, the styroman flashes and splits in two. An alien flies out of the styroman, and Yukari is instantly blinded. Blood flows from her eyes as Hokuto asks what happened. Dan decides to look out the window, and suddenly sees a man in red fly over and land on the roof. This man, dressed as Santa Claus, for no reason at all, suddenly announces, "Merry Christmas!" and goes down the chimney. Making his way into the house, he once again announces, "Merry Christmas!" alerting everyone to his presence. Hokuto is immediately distrustful after what happened, but Yukari says his voice doesn't match that of the stranger who dropped the styroman off, and somehow that also means he is not a bad person. Making that wild assumption is the most logical thing this episode has going for it. Dan comes into the room, explaining how he saw Santa fly in and believes him to be the bad guy. Hokuto looks over at Santa, who creepily smiles at him. I don't know about you, but if an alien just blinded someone and a random dude walks in shouting "Merry Christmas" and decides to just smile when he's accused, my tack chute is immediately leaving its holster. The monster appears in the city, and Hokuto is called to fight it. Before leaving, Santa tells Hokuto good luck and gives him another smile. At this point, the smile has shifted from something a little creepy to more of one of familiarity. Hokuto never told Santa his name, so Santa knowing it and smiling more warmly shows that he might have a deeper connection with Hokuto than it seems. While the fighting happens, the true villain of the episode appears. Instead of being an alien bent on world domination, the villain is someone angry at Japan for accepting a Western tradition like Christmas, and deciding this means everyone has to die. The monster defeats Tak per usual, and Hokuto is forced to transform into Ultraman Ace. A battle ensues, which Ace ultimately loses.
Ultraman Ace!
Immediately after, the monster destroys a building and blinds many people, including a child who screams like he just stepped on a Lego. Back at the orphanage, the Tak crew have decided they'll make a final stand against the kaiju to defend the children. Santa decides that instead, he'll be the one to handle business. Despite protests, Tak let him go outside, where he immediately transforms into a giant Santa Claus. He turns to Dan and smiles, revealing he has horns like the Father of Ultra. Not only is this absolutely insane because the Father of Ultra is playing Santa, it's also insane because a few episodes before he straight up died. To reveal that the Father of Ultra is still alive with literally no explanation is one thing, but to reveal he's Santa Claus is where I draw the line. Ultra Santa powers up Ace, and the villain gets annoyed. As if the episode wasn't weird enough, the villain also calls Father of Ultra a bastard. I don't think I've ever seen any swear words in any of the 5 series so far, so to have one and to have it directed at someone is wild. Round 2 for Ace starts, while Father Santa just stares at it happen. Even if he wanted Ace to get the win on his own, the way a giant man is just standing a few feet away from a kaiju fight looks pretty ridiculous. Meanwhile, the captain of TAC recognizes Santa as Father of Ultra, and the men attending to his wounds decide he's just seeing things and laugh at him. Instead, they decide that the more completely rational idea is that giant Santa Claus is just casually standing by a kaiju fight doing nothing. Santa of Ultra decides he's done listening to the villain hate on Westerners, and he decides to blast him. The villain gives his best improv of drinking something too hot, and Ace quickly finishes his foe as well. Santa returns to normal and decides to jump straight into a fire to get out of this episode. Actually, he reappears on the roof again, calling down Yuko Minami from a sleigh to cure everyone of their blindness. Who is Yuko, you ask? Oh well, she's just the other Ace host and main character of the series who the writers decided to write out of the show for logistical and gender reasons 10 episodes ago. Yeah, They randomly brought her back with powers and sent her back on her way. The episode ends with Father of Ultra and Yuko riding the sleigh into space. As an episode, I still find this Christmas special entertaining, more because it's so insane than because it's good. Father of Ultra claiming to be Santa, and even having the sleigh makes me wonder though, has he always been Santa Claus? Is Santa Claus confirmed real in the Ultra universe? Maybe we'll never know, but I like to think it adds to the insanity and fun of the Ultra series we've all come to love.